Welcome to Break the Chains with Jess and Jack Haynes. And welcome to episode 4 of Break the Chains with
Jess Haynes
and Jack Haynes. And we're excited to two things for our paid members. You are getting your first chance at seeing us on video as we do this.
The ones behind the voices.
Of course, after they see me, they may pay extra to not have to look at it anymore. But we're really excited about the guests that we have on today. And as we get ready to bring that on, we want to thank Paranuga.com for sponsoring today.
Sponsors the word.
Sponsoring today's episode. Paranuga.com. If you like spooky stories, or if you happen to be in the Chattanooga area and would like to enjoy a ghost tour, visit Paranuga.com and check for available dates.
Yes.
Now, our next guest is
one of my favoriteest people. Sorry, but she is. I had to interrupt. She's one of my faves.
Her name is Alli MacDonald.
Yes.
And she has been kind enough to come and talk to us a little bit. She is behind the documentary that's coming up called Masked. We'll let her talk more about that. But without further ado, let us get her on. Hi, Alli.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. I almost want to say hi from Hawaii, but I'm not in Hawaii.
I know. I love that. It's so cute. And she's even got, is it a little flower in your hair too?
Yeah, my little flower.
It's so cute.
The camera is like, it's showing me on the left. It's like kind of backwards. So it's like, I don't know where it is right there.
I can't find it. It's in my head. It's in my head.
And it looks really cute. Well, thank you for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Of course.
As we get started, before we talk about your story, I'm going to kind of bookend it with what you're up to. So give us a brief description of what's going on for you right now.
Okay. So as far as the docuseries is concerned, is that the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So, well, we're starting from scratch. So this is something I've been working on for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And due to different reasons, find ourselves back at zero, starting over. And so right now we're at the stage of funding. We need funding for our project.
Okay.
And it's a project to help others become aware that there is hope through domestic abuse, through child abuse, no matter what form it is, and narcissistic abuse.
Yes.
And so I also have a messenger group. It's a private group chat to support members there. If anybody wants to join that, they can contact me on my Facebook page or PM me, and I'll gladly add them if they're a good fit for the group. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And,
love that.
Full disclosure, we have been, and I point at her as I say we, have been involved with the docuseries, which again is named
Masked.
Yes.
Masked.
MASKED.
All right, excellent. And so that's not a concept that's foreign to us. We're going to blame the restart mode on COVID because we can.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yes. Yes.
Because a lot's been going on over the past 2 years. So that
a lot
has had a hand in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So you are involved in helping those with domestic situations that they've been through, dealing with narcissists. I heard you mention. Trying to
childhood abuse as well.
Childhood abuse, trying to process through a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, what makes you interested in that as a work?
Okay, so I know that for me, it took me a long time to heal. So my domestic abuse that was not so long, but my child abuse, I just healing from that. And so my child abuse issues have been with me since I was 5. That's when it started. And I'm 60 now. I just turned 60. So that's a long time for all those issues to be down, very deep down, and then come up. And then you have nowhere to put them and you don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I had to seek counseling and not professional counseling, go to the doctors and all that, but had to go to they call it a crisis unit. Get de-escalate. And then I did find there was really reliable coaches online. You can find them online. And I found a local friend as well. She was a trauma coach, and God just put all these people in my life, and I really chalk it up to God for getting me through 5 to 7 months of depression. So
yeah,
definitely.
So you went through. I'll have lots of questions, but at any point interrupt and ask her.
I will.
You went through child abuse and you went through domestic abuse, and you've gone through a lot. And you said that you gave the age of 5.
Okay.
Now, personal thought here, and feel free to disagree or ignore my statement. It's my personal view through my study and in research and working through my own things that up until 7, you don't know how to process what is happening to you. You don't have a set of filters to run things through. And this is the age when you are interpreting what happens with a meaning. Whether that meaning has anything to do with the truth or not is a completely different conversation because you're a child. And so we tend to carry some of those definitions and meanings and looking at ourselves through the lens that was created at that early age. I'm curious, what advice do you have for someone who is now out of an abusive situation, but find themselves carrying a lot of luggage? What advice do you have for somebody that's just now understanding that they may have a few things to process through?
Right. Like I said, don't hold it all in, because that's what I did. And it will take you right down, especially when you get triggered.
Yes.
And it was just amazing. And I feel a little bit of trying to help others when I started doing the mask docuseries. I could feel a little bit coming from that, being triggered and having flashbacks, and then something happened one day that was personal, and it just snapped it into immediate reaction, and so that's when it all came flooding back, and didn't know what to do with it, and so it's kind of went into a panic attack, and couldn't breathe, because it's you're thinking you're all past this, and then all of a sudden it's right there in your face. You cannot get it. It's right there. You got to deal with it. So my advice is to reach out, get help. I was just laying in bed, and I was going to the kitchen to eat and then take a shower. That was my daily living while I was depressed, and then I knew to go on that way, so I called the hospital. So do whatever you have to do in order to get that help, get better. But that's the route I took, and that's where I started.
Yeah. Excellent.
It's so important to do that.
Absolutely. And the thing that I want to point out there is the fact that when you realized that you needed help, you reached out where you knew to reach to.
It's amazing the avenues that we do have to talk to people and agencies and, like you're saying, coaches. There's a lot out there.
Yeah, there are. And a lot more than there was when I was going through this. So
For sure.
yeah, we have domestic violence hotlines.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I used, we have local women's groups, domestic shelters that we can go to. Yeah, and now we have Google, so we can look it up and search. So, it's not like it was before. We had no resources at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a guy, I would like to just speak to the fact that men have the stereotype. Not all men are like this, but there's a stereotype that men are like, I'm too tough to need help.
Mm-hmm.
And a man is told to suck it up. A phrase that I heard growing up a lot is, you're the man, be the man, deal with it.
Exactly.
And I would like to point out that there's no shame in going to the emergency room if you have a broken leg.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're suffering an invisible wound, there's no shame in seeking help.
Right. Exactly. And you said a key word there, Jack, invisible wound. So the invisible wounds are not addressed as quickly as physical wounds, because someone comes in the ER and they're bleeding. Okay, we know exactly what to do. We're going to clean that up, right? Someone comes in with an invisible wound. Okay, let's just do some let's just do some talking. Let's let's do this. And then they usually label it PSTD. Whereas there's psychological terms that are much better names for that. Which one I found was compulsion explosion, which that describes it to a T. Because
I've never heard that. Have you?
Yeah. No, I hadn't even heard it either. And it was like, because you're everything is down here, like way down here in your gut.
Yes.
And then it rises way up here, and it's just like a volcano, and it just erupts, and then it goes all to your head, and now you're like, oh my God, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
It's like something vomiting, and I hate to use that expression because it's kind of vile, but it is. It's like vomiting up all your memories. It's just like, and then you're like, it's like right there in front of you. You don't know what to do.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's so dead on. Like, I've never heard that, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So for someone who is currently in a situation where they don't feel safe, so we're backing up to before they realize they need help processing things,
right.
Back when they're just in survival mode. What advice would you give to someone? Because share some numbers real quick. 1 in 4 women will experience domestic abuse within their lifetime. 1 in 7 men will. So it's not just a woman thing. It's right. Everybody. But so somebody watching or listening right now is probably in a situation that they need to get out of.
Right, exactly.
They've got to survive. What advice do you have for someone who needs help but doesn't know how to safely request it?
Okay, so now this is one thing that we want to work on with our docuseries, is get more churches involved and know how to help. Now, not all churches know how to help. A lot of churches know how to shun people, which we need to break that. And but my church, thank God, the church that I was going to was so supportive.
Good.
And yes, and so I would first reach out to a church that they've been there going for a long time there. Don't reach out to a cold church that you don't know. I would reach out to the people that you have been with previously. And then if you don't get any results there, I would look for like through the town assistance,
Mm-hmm.
like the women's shelter. The women's shelter can help a lot, especially if you have had children. If you have
Mm-hmm.
children, get those children out of there.
For sure.
Get them into a shelter, and even if you don't have a vehicle to get the children out, call that facility. Someone will get you. Someone will help you. Arrange something, maybe a neighbor or a family member that can get you out. My brother came and got me out. I had to call the police on my husband because he threatened to kill my friend, and because she was trying to help me. And so I had to leave within 24 hours. I'll leave my home, my pets. I mean, just like the skin of my teeth. I had to leave everything, and
Mhm.
I had 1 more month to pay on the home. But life is more important. Your health is more important. You are more important.
Most certainly.
And so I'm saying that, yeah, just think of your number one top priority. If you have children, they're number one top priority. And seek the counsel that you need. Take the time you need to heal, and the best thing is get support. The better their support system is, the quicker you're going to heal.
Mm-hmm. Most certainly. That's great advice. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
All right. Well, Alli, we've certainly appreciated speaking with you today, and you have a wonderful story that can help many people. So we want to make sure that we help support that. And again, we have been a part of MASK, so that's not,
Right.
full disclosure once again. But if you had the opportunity to tell the world anything and have as much time as you wanted to say it, what would you say? And we'll listen.
Okay. All right. So I would say, like you have brought up a very good point, that abuse does not just happen to women; it happens to men. And I'd like to see more men come forward, because I know it's hard for men, because men are taught not to cry, not to show your feelings, not to express your feelings. And then we wonder, why are men beating up women, right? They can't
Yes.
express themselves. The only way they know how is to get angry, because, okay, I can't cry. I was told not to cry. I was told not to express myself. I was told not to, get upset. So what are they going to do? They're going to get upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, women who are dominant tend to fall into that category, where that they're going to meet that man that does not like that dominant
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to clash, and that man's going to try to override that woman, and no matter what it takes, beat her down. And so it happens to a lot of women. And so I want to break the cycle of, or the myth, I should say. I want to break the myth of people thinking, or society thinking, that, oh gosh, that woman's stupid for being with that person in the first place.
Right.
No, that woman is a very strong-willed, very intelligent, dominant person, and that's why the man wants to, because his super ego is coming out, and he says, no, the woman can't be, smarter or better than I am, so gonna take her down a peg. But so I want to break that myth that women are stupid for getting into the situation in the first place. The woman coming into it sees the man as charming and everything that a normal woman would see, right? And that man's not going to show his true colors until further down the road, and then you start seeing the red flags, and then it's too late. You're already in the situation, so now you need help. And that's why we're here. We want to help. We want to help take away all the myths. And even the churches are thinking this. The people and the pastors in the churches, which is really sad, and so we need to bring awareness and educate.
Yes, most certainly. You've shared so much good insight here today that, some people may have not even thought of these avenues that you've mentioned to reach out for help.
Mhm.
And like you're saying, more men, if they could come forward and tell their stories,
Yeah.
that would I feel like that would be such a huge impact on this world. So many more people would come forward, and that would help so many more people. It would just be a whole domino effect of healing,
Right.
healing
Another
each
thing,
other.
yes, another thing that I think that would really help the situation a lot is for men to take anger management classes.
For sure.
Because I know if it's the woman that is being the abuser, she's not going to come across as physically as strong. It's she might be able to kick or punch or hit, but she's not going to be able to like break your nose or like I'm saying,
Yes.
or break your arm or whatever. So not to say the woman doesn't need anger management classes, but she's not going to do as much damage as a man can because man's much stronger physically usually.
I'm going to disagree slightly because
Okay,
I've seen
sure.
what a cast iron skillet can do.
Oh yeah,
Wow,
no,
yeah.
I'm not being funny.
no, that's with using something, but I'm saying body wise,
Yeah.
using your physical body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I understand that. I'm just saying it.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
seen a very small woman beat
Mm,
up a very large man,
wow.
and when it went to court, the judge laughed him out, saying that there's no way she did that, and she could have killed him.
Right. Yeah, and so see, like he's not thinking of the whole picture because he's not thinking, okay, just like this gun issue is like a big thing right now.
Mhm.
It's like just saying, say that same small woman chooses the gun, right? So the judge is going to say that she didn't do him any harm because she's a small woman. That's no, cast iron skillet gun, the same,
Yes.
Exactly.
You're going to use it for danger. You used it for danger.
Right. Most certainly. Yeah, for sure. That is a good point. Yeah. It's sad but true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But again, it's much more common for a female to be the victim than for a male to be a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that is important to remember. I'm curious if there is any other message that you would have for our audience that we can share with them.
Okay. I would just say never give up hope.
Never give up hope.
Never give up hope. Because like I said, I've been just living with all these like memories and pented up memories, and I was sailing along, doing really good, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I felt like I fell off a cliff and didn't get back up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sharing with Jess before, it was like I felt like this little light that was on, like way down in that same area where that got, all the memories from. It was like this little light. Now, when I was doing well, my faith was like, really big. But then I could just see this dim light that was down there. And I was like, I don't know how and I don't know when, but I know that God's going to get me through this. Because I just knew I couldn't. I was at my end of, I had no more resistance. I just, they call it like a paralytic fear, like and you just can't function. And so I had this little light of mine, right? Had that there, and that's like what totally got me through. And I talked to my trauma coach about it, and she said, of course that little light was there. That's your soul. And your soul's not about to get, burn out, because you had, this little bit of will, but it was there, and that
Right.
will should keep on, keep burning.
We lost the last piece of audio.
Oh, okay. I just said that's what got me through.
Good.
Excellent. Well, Alli, we certainly appreciate your time with us on Break the Chains, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and to hopefully get to talk to you again in the future.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wanted to reach out to you about Masked or about your messenger group, how would they reach you again?
Okay, so best way is to just go to Alli MacDonald's. You can go on my Facebook page and try to go through there to Messenger, or just direct message me and just go to the private message, the Messenger chat, and just go in there and say, hey, I heard about you on the break the silence. That was
Break the Chains.
Break the change.
Yes.
Break the Chains podcast. And I'd like to be a part of your group. How do I join? And that's basically I'll take it from there.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And if anybody has trouble finding her, you can also reach out to us, and we will point you in the right direction so that you can get a hold of Alli. Alli, again,
sure.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you guys.
And we will hopefully talk to you very shortly.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks, Alli. Bye.
Bye.
I was supposed to stay down on the ground. I was told I could never make a sound. Chained to a belief that you beat into the skin, that you said I should be ashamed to be living in. Then one day I flipped a switch inside my head, 'cause I knew if I didn't I would wind up dead. Told myself that I was more than you deserved, and that what you said to me was nothing more than words. And I broke my chains that day, and it took all my nerve to break away from you. After I had gathered all my strength, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I bound you to the ground and gave you a dose of your own medicine and watched you choke it down. And now that broken girl who was is nowhere to be found. Well, she's nowhere to be found. Should have left, but instead I chose to stay, 'cause I knew exactly how I wanted you to pay. Beat you until you were black and blue, 'cause I just wanted you to get what was coming to you. That was a day I chose to cross every line, that it was me and not you who would get to decide. Now that I was finally free, all I wanted to do to you is what you did to me. And I broke my chains that day, and it took all my nerve to break away from you. After I had gathered all my strength, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I bound you to the ground and gave you a dose of your own medicine and